It was the smell that did it. A thick, sweet, and putrid odor that seeped out from under the garage door. A smell that no amount of fertilizer or rotting garbage could explain. It was a smell that spoke of death, and it wafted through a quiet suburban neighborhood, turning concern into dread, and a simple wellness check into a nightmare. When police finally forced their way into that garage, they found a scene of such profound betrayal that it would shatter a family and leave a community asking one horrifying question: how could a daughter do this to her own mother? The woman was 68-year-old Eleanor Grayson, a retired librarian known for her gentle smile and her meticulously kept garden. She was the kind of neighbor who would bring you soup when you were sick, the kind of grandmother who never forgot a birthday. But for 3 weeks, she had simply vanished. Her daughter, Chloe, a 35-year-old who lived just a few blocks away, told concerned friends and family that her mother had decided to take a sudden, extended trip to a spiritual retreat upstate, that she needed to disconnect. She said it with such calm conviction that everyone believed her, but a cousin grew suspicious.
There were no postcards, no photos, and Eleanor wasn't answering her phone. The cousin called the police, insisting they do a welfare check in Eleanor's house. Everything seemed normal, if a little still. It was when an officer walked around to the detached garage that the story began to unravel. The door was locked with a heavy-duty padlock, something that seemed out of place. And then there was that smell. They found Eleanor inside, wrapped in a tarp and hidden behind a stack of old tires and cardboard boxes. The preliminary examination revealed the unthinkable. She had not died of natural causes. She had been suffocated. The investigation immediately zeroed in on Chloe. At first, she played the part of the grieving daughter perfectly, expressing shock and horror. But her story was full of cracks. Why had she lied about the retreat? Why had she been the one to proactively tell everyone her mother was away, before anyone even asked? And then there was the financial trail. Detectives discovered that in the weeks following her mother's disappearance, Chloe had drained her mother's savings account, maxed out her credit cards, and had even initiated the process of selling her mother's house. This wasn't a cover-up born of panic. It was a cold, calculated plan.
The motive became painfully clear: greed. Eleanor had a comfortable retirement fund and a fully paid-off home. Chloe, it turned out, was drowning in debt from a failed business venture and a gambling addiction. She saw her mother not as a person to be loved, but as a problem to be solved and an asset to be liquidated. The confrontation with the evidence was swift. Presented with the financial records and the timeline of her lies, Chloe's composure shattered. She didn't break down in remorseful tears, but in angry, self-pitying sobs. She claimed her mother never supported her, that she was selfish for not helping her out of her financial mess. In Chloe's twisted narrative, she was the victim, driven to an unthinkable act by a mother who refused to bail her out. She had gone to her mother's house to demand money. An argument had escalated, and in a fit of rage, she had silenced her forever. The garage, a place meant for storing lawnmowers and childhood memories, had become her secret tomb. So I have to ask you, what do you think was the final straw? Was this a long-simmering resentment or a sudden, explosive rage triggered by desperation? Let me know your theory in the comments below. Chloe Grayson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and financial fraud. She ultimately pleaded guilty to avoid a trial and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
The house was never sold. It stands as a quiet, painful monument to a life taken too soon, and to the chilling reality that sometimes the greatest danger doesn't come from a stranger lurking in the shadows, but from someone you raised, loved, and trusted with your life. Tell me where you're watching Criminal Codex from today. Drop your city in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Criminal Codex for more true crime stories. See you in the next one, where the truth waits to be uncovered.